Good morning, everybody, and welcome to What's Real in Real Estate. I'm Elie Morris with Signature Real Estate Group, and I could not be more excited than to be with you today. Unfortunately, our guest didn't show up, so you're stuck with me all alone today. So we'll try to find some good stuff to talk about. The real estate market's good enough. It's as crazy as ever, but I'll get to the numbers in just a minute. We are going into the heat of the summer. We start our 100 days of 100 degrees or more today. And quite frankly, for you outsiders, it's really not that big a deal. We don't blow up. We don't implode. It's not bad. But let's go through some of these. Oh, folks, before I do anything, how about 3 cheers for the Knights? Man, that was one great game last night. When Colorado scored first, of course, my heart sunk. But I was wearing my lucky T-shirt. And it came through for us because it was just a great game, a real battle, back and forth, and just exciting. Really enjoyed it. And on now we go and take Montreal. We open up Monday at T-Mobile. And, of course, as a Detroiter, I never liked Montreal. I always hated Montreal because they were tough on the wings. They were a great team back in the day. But I know that our Golden Knights will take care of them handedly. Let's talk about some of the numbers. We're not seeing anything change. That's our guest. He just texted. Hey, brother, I'll type. Let's see. Okay. So here we go. Numbers. We are still at 2,295 single-family home residential properties for sale, which is pretty much where we were last week, off by a few, but not a lot. Single-family residential, 618 condos and townhomes that we have. This is unbelievable. This is just unbelievable how we're seeing more and more homes come on the market. We are pushing that. I was went blank. We're pushing that 1 month inventory. We're really getting close to it. We're averaging about 2,755. I think he's out there. You see him? Yeah. All right. He's asking about here, Beta. Take my phone, will you? You can text him. He's asking how to log in. But in the meantime, we're getting real close to 1 month's worth of inventory. We are at 2,755 on an average with almost 2,300. So we're getting real close to having a month's worth of inventory, which is good. We need that. We need it. We're going in the right direction. I got some real interesting numbers, too, I want to talk to you about here. I just got these from our president, Aldo Martinez, this past week. Our average price now is $385,000. We have condos and townhomes, the median price is $205,000. So we are, inching up towards that 400,000 unit price. And single-family homes, I'm hoping we can slow that down a little bit. New listings are pushing 400,000. So you've really got to get out there and make things happen now if you're going to buy a house, because this market is not slowing up, but rates are still strong, nice and low. We have, like I said, close to a month's supply. Is up 23% from last month, but of course way down from last year. Last year we had 10,000 homes for sale. Big difference. This is an interesting number. 86%, almost 87% of all listings are closing within less than 30 days. 87% of every home that goes in the market closes in less than 30 days. So people are not messing around. If you're looking to buy a home, you've got to be aggressive. You've got to be serious. One thing that happened to me this week, just happened yesterday. I was very excited about it. I wrote an offer on a new buyer. His first offer he wrote. Many times he'll write 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 offers before we get one accepted. This one got accepted on the first try. So very exciting. It was a condominium up in the northwest. Here's some numbers I found real interesting. Once a home goes under contract, we take it off the market, put it in under contract, no show or show, regardless. Out of all the homes that we went under contract in the last 30 days, 1,600, they had to make a change on that because things changed. Of those, 285 had made changes twice. Like, what I'm getting at is people are listing their homes and they're listing them higher than they should be. So they're making changes. They're bringing the price down. Is he coming in?
He thought it was through video.
He what?
He thought it was through Zoom.
Okay. So we go through a lot of changes when people overprice their homes. This is interesting. Listings, how many times did a listing change from active to off the market in the last 30 days? Is 7,871 times. So what's happening is people are getting a little too greedy, and they're listing their homes higher than they should be. So what happens is they realize after maybe a week or a couple days, we better drop the price. Instead of being aggressive and serious about selling their home and marketing it competitively to start with, they market it high, then they reduce it, maybe reduce it again. And what you look at, this does not look good for you on the MLS or the realtor's eye. Why is it starting high? Why do they keep reducing it? Why not just market it, aggressively and price it to go? Some people think maybe they're not serious. We don't take them serious. So for all you sellers out there, if you're going to price your home, price it according to the market. Don't get greedy, because in the kind of market we have right now, if you price it low, you're going to get a lot of activity. When I say low, I don't mean too low. If the home is valued at about $400,000, price it at $390,000, $395,000. Price it a hair underneath where you think it should be. That will drive a lot of traffic to your home. People will get a lot of people in there, and that's the key. If you get a lot of traffic in a short period of time, you're going to get a lot of activity, which will bring you multiple offers, which will bring that price up more than likely well above that $400,000 price. And I don't care what price range you're in, you've got to price it aggressively. Tony Ferrugia, my broker back in Detroit, when I first learned the business, he taught me that, and we were in what we would call a normal market back then. He said, price it aggressively, drive a lot of traffic to the home the first weekend, and you'll get a lot of offers. And that's what I try to do when I list a home. And I don't try, I do it. And it has worked, and that's why I'm telling you, price it a little under the market, drive a lot of activity, drive a lot of people to come see your home. That'll create a lot of activity, which will create a lot of offers, and you will get well above where you want it to be. Okay, so now we got numbers out of the way. We don't have a guest, so let's talk about Las Vegas, what's happening here. Now, we're getting close to, we just finished up a great Memorial weekend where we had 300,000 people who have been just itching to get out and have some fun, got out. And they came here, and they spent money, and they had a blast. And we're just seeing this town open up in a way that I can't even tell you. There's so many things happening. This weekend, there are so many things you can do, starting with the Aviators game. If you haven't been to an Aviators game, get out. Tonight's firework night. Everybody loves good fireworks. So we have fireworks tonight, and they're just a fun team to watch play. And in addition to that, you can get a great seat for $15. Tell me where you can go for $15 in this town and have 2.5 hours, 3 hours of entertainment. Not many places in the outdoors. The weather's beautiful, even though it's, one good thing about this time of year in Las Vegas is we hit those highs of 100, and next week we see we're going to be in 110, 112, 115. But the evenings in the desert cool down real nicely. Now, I will tell you, come August, they don't cool down so nice because that cement heats up, and over time, the whole city is just hot. But right now, great time to be out in the evening. It's just beautiful and cool and comfortable. Okay, let's take a few more minutes. Let's go back to real estate. Unless we want to talk about real estate. We have 15,800 realtors right now in town. Almost 16,000 realtors. And you saw we do about maybe 3,000 sales a month. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little bit less, in that general vicinity. That means that if those 3,000 sales are done by 3,000 realtors, that means almost 13,000 realtors didn't do a sale at all last month. And quite frankly, out of those 3,000 many of them are done by multiple agents. Agents have done multiple sales. So when you're looking for a realtor, it is important to know, are they aggressive? Are they really in the market? Are they actively entrenched in the real estate business? Don't look for someone that's your cousin who said, well, I'll save you a percent on your commission, and they don't know what they're doing. And there's a problem with that. It happens a lot. Some people get in the real estate business for one reason, just to sell their own home or sell their parents' home. It seems silly. It is silly. So when you're looking for a realtor, you can find a lot of this information online, but you can just ask them, how many homes did you sell in the last 12 months? They tell you 3 or 4. One way to look at it, I guess, is, well, they don't have much activity. They'll give me a lot of time. And that's fine. They might give you a lot of time because they have nothing else to do. And they're looking for someone to play with. So they'll play with you. But what you want is someone that knows how to market a home. You want someone that is so busy, they don't have time for doing all the little things. You want someone that's so busy, all they think about and all they're doing is marketing your home to the public. So keep that in mind. Those are good questions to ask. How many sales did you do in the last year? Now, when I was in Detroit, it was such a big city and so heavily populated compared to Las Vegas. There were people that just worked on the east side. There were people that worked only in Oakland County or in Detroit proper. Out here, people will ask me often, what neighborhood do you specialize in? And I always give them the same answer. I specialize in Clark County. That's where I spend most of my time. And that's a joke because everything's Clark County. But really, this is not that big of a city. And geographically, especially, I can go from the northwest to the southeast in 30 minutes without traffic, with no problem at all. So we're everywhere. I do business in Boulder City, which is, that's south of Henderson. I don't spend much time out in Pahrump or Mesquite. I have, but I'd rather keep it in Clark County, in Las Vegas proper. And again, Boulder City is close by, so that's not a big deal. But yeah, ask those kind of questions. How many sales do you make? How long have you been in the business? You want someone, and again, don't get me wrong, we have agents in our office that have been in the business 2-3 years. They're blowing it up. But they're blowing it up because they treat it like a business. It's not part-time. They're taking it seriously. They will market your home in a way you want it marketed, and you should be when that 87% where you're closing, or at least getting it under contract in 30 days or less. I saw a home yesterday, 88 days in the market. I looked into the history, no changes. The price was the same today as I wonder what was going on. Sometimes you think, well, it was overpriced. Not the case. So I called the agent and asked, why are they not? What was to hold it? Why is it 88 days, almost 3 months on the market? And I found out what it was. The agent never returned my phone call. So, there's a lot to that too. So you want an agent that is good at communicating, that can call you back and stay on top of things. So I called her again and I sent her a text. Didn't respond to me until something like 3 o'clock in the morning, this past morning. Well, obviously, we already planned our day. We're going to go out and look. But that is what you want. You want someone that you call them. They may not answer the phone immediately. They could be in a meeting. They could be with another buyer or seller. But they better get back with you within a couple hours. Back to you within a couple hours. There's no excuse not to at least return a phone call in a timely fashion. So those are a couple things to look for. How long you've been in the business. How many sales did you make last year? How good are you at returning phone calls? So you can get that question answered real quick. Just give them a call. See if they return your phone call or not. That's one good way to find that one out. Another thing you want to know is, and talk about negotiating with them. What kind of experience they had negotiating? See, that's the other thing. We are negotiating all the time. We're negotiating the initial contract. Then when the repair or when the inspection's done, sometimes we have to renegotiate the inspection report. We have to talk about that. Then sometimes we have to renegotiate when we get the appraisal back. So there's multiple times throughout a transaction that negotiations are going to take place. Well, if they're going to take place, you better have someone that knows how to negotiate. That is real important. So make sure that you are asking the questions, taking good notes. And the other thing that's important is, you can always ask for referrals. Ask someone who's worked with a realtor in the past. How was their experience with them? Did he communicate? Did she communicate? Were they quick on the draw when you had questions for them? Those are good questions to ask. Get referrals from people. Referrals from a lender, referrals from a friend is always the best. Referrals from a friend or family is always great because they're more impartial. Sometimes a lender has a buddy in the business. He's going to refer the buddy, whether the buddy's good or bad, because they're buddies. Well, we don't really care about their buddies. What we care about is you getting someone that's going to work hard for you, give you the time. This is the other thing that's important. In this market today, I tell our buyers, man, we see an offer, a home that goes in the market, we got to jump on it the next day because they're gone many of them within a day. This one that I got the offer accepted on yesterday was on the market for 1 day. We jumped right on it. You better make sure that your realtor is responsive to those needs. How it goes on the market, and you call them and say, I want to see it. They tell you, well, let's go next Tuesday. You know you're not going to get it. It's going to be gone. So you need to make sure that this realtor you're working with is responsive to the market. Right now, the market demands that you go see these homes ASAP. And by the way, works two ways. If your realtor calls you up and says, hey, let's go out right now and take a look, and you say, well, I can't because, I Love Lucy's on, and I don't want to miss this episode. It's my favorite episode. Can we go tomorrow? Well, that's your problem then. You deserve to lose out, and you're going to lose out. So if you want your realtor to be aggressive, you better be aggressive and be very aggressive, getting out there, making these things happen. Okay, so that's it. On the selling side, you got a lot of responsibility too. You better make sure that your house is, I've said this before, I'll say it again, decluttered. I was in a home that we're going to list in a couple weeks. This guy, that's all I talked to him about. Beautiful home on the west side of Summerlin. It was about 3,000 square feet, beautiful 2-story. He has antiques going back to the Civil War, some of them going back pre-1800. And they're beautiful, but it's like you're walking into a warehouse. So I've arranged for him to meet with an estate salesperson, and they're going to clear that out. His countertops are just cluttered with papers and boxes. And so before you can put a house in the market, even if you're pricing it aggressively, you have to make sure the home is decluttered. Everything's put away. Your walls don't have a zillion pictures of you, your kids, and your dogs on them. Make sure the outside looks beautiful. That's probably the most important thing. Get that outside looking great when people drive by. They want to make sure that to call you back, say, yes, I want to see this house. I've had many buyers, and I appreciate this. They'll say, let me go drive by first, see if I like the neighborhood. They'll call me back. Yeah, we drove by. The house looks terrible from the outside. We don't want to even see it. Don't blow your opportunity by not mowing your lawn. By the way, if you're in Las Vegas, you shouldn't even have a lawn. Stones. Make sure your stones are clean. But yeah, your yard should be looking clean and crisp and fresh. Give it a fresh appearance. If your home needs to be painted on the outside, paint it. Some of these small investments you make bring back big money. A couple $1,000s in paint make a huge difference. A couple of plants here, a few fresh stones there makes a huge difference. Your kitchen should be looking great, clean. Make sure you don't have a lot of odors in your home. I go to some homes, you walk in, you want to just run right out because it just stinks. Maybe it's from cat urine. There's a lot of that. Dog feces. Some people just cook, and their cooking is just extremely strong. If you're going to sell your house, sometimes you have to inconvenience yourself to get the best price. So if you want to get the best price, inconvenience yourself. Make sure the dogs are, doing their business outside and staying outside, and make sure your front looks great and your home is decluttered. I can't stress the decluttered part. The other thing is, today a lot of people don't like lock boxes. Lock boxes are what made us different. We can go in and see a home and show it at the convenience of the buyer. If you make it too difficult for a buyer to come in and view your home, guess what? Even though inventory is low, there's still enough homes for us to go see. We'll go see the next home, and if they find something they like, yours might have been nicer, but we would never know it because you didn't let us in to go see it. So make sure it's very accessible, your home. If you can't live with a lockbox, you better be there to let somebody in, because you can't expect a realtor to drop what they're doing to go open the door. They have other people they're working with too. So Make sure your home is very accessible. Lockbox is the easiest way. If that won't work, make sure that if you can work by appointment only, make sure you or somebody is at home on a regular basis to let people in. And once you let them in, get the hell out of the way. Don't sit there and stand there and tell them about all the great things you did with your house because you love this. That's the best smoke detector I've ever seen in my life. It's never gone off. It's fantastic. You get away. Go sit in the backyard. Go for a walk around the neighborhood. Do whatever you can to get out of. People don't want to listen to you. They came to look at a house, and they want to be able to take their time, walk through the house, open up closet doors, look into the pantry, and envision themselves living in this house. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to show homes, and the owner, the seller, they will not get off your back. I know they mean well. They think they're doing the right thing. And agents are always asking for feedback. I love giving that feedback. I tell them, keep your seller away from people because they don't give the buyer a chance to take their time. They want to, here's this and here's this. They rush them through the house. And again, I know they mean well, but they're making a big mistake. Let the buyer take their time, stroll around, get the feel, internalize it, visualize themselves living in this home, being in the backyard, maybe picture their own changes they make. Let them have some time. That's real important. So as a buyer, be aggressive. As a seller, be aggressive. Now, don't be so aggressive we have any fist fights. We don't want any of that. But we do want you to be aggressive. Price your home competitively. If you're a buyer, you make sure that you are aggressive in your offer. You can't ask for closing costs. Don't ask for a home warranty. If you have some extra money, pay the difference of an appraisal shortage. If you still have some extra money, maybe pay for the seller's real property transfer tax or some of their escrow fees. Look at the difference between buying a home today at 3.25% versus buying it in a year when things have maybe calmed down, but you're at 4 or 4.25%, you'll have a lower payment today at $400,000 at 3.25% than you will at $375,000 at 4.25%. And really, isn't that what the bottom line is? What your monthly cost is, how much you can pay in a month to stay within your budget. So don't get caught up on, they were overpriced. And by the way, we're going to wrap this up soon, but I do want to take one more minute and talk about a crash. Everything we see, there's not one indicator there's going to be any kind of crash, not even a dip. Everybody has equity, and that's a big difference between now and 12 years ago. So we see everything is continuing to blow and go, look great, look exciting. And again, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm at 702-236-1095. You can always find me on Facebook. Ask anything. I appreciate listening to me ramble. Next week, we have Louis Cordone from Guarantee Rate coming on. I know Louis is going to be here. He's excited about it. And I understand, but just a mix-up with the communication with our other guests. He thought it was going to be a Zoom, and that's why he didn't come down. But we'll get him back on some other time. In the meantime, have a great weekend. It's going to be a blast out there. Have some fun. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.